This blog is about our recent stay on the Carnival Radiance Cruise Ship that departed from Long Beach, California. We will briefly cover what we loved and what we didn't love about this experience. We were very excited to go on this trip on the Carnival Radiance. We had mixed feelings before embarking as we were nervous of Carnival's reputation of being a partying and fighting ship, but on the other hand, we were going to be cruising with some great friends who we had met a year ago on another ship. The night before embarking our cruise on the Carnival Radiance, we all stayed in the haunted Queen Mary cruise ship that is docked as a hotel in Long Beach, California. That experience in itself was a lot of fun, not to mention just how close it is to the Carnival Radiance terminal. The entire process of embarking on the Carnival Radiance was really organized, not to mention that the port was really quite nice. We had checked out of the Queen Mary Hotel, reparked our truck in the Carnival parking lot, attached our tags to our luggage, and walked through the check-in part of the terminal within 20 minutes. There was a slight long wait to actually embark the ship, but that was probably because we arrived at the terminal a little bit too early. Our friends had purchased the Faster to the Fun package, and sadly, Kirk and I were not allowed to join them in that earlier embarkation. Regardless, our friends were only about a half an hour ahead of us, so by the time we got through the final check-in, they were already on their second drink. The drink package was a pretty good deal overall, and it seemed that it was the best additional purchase that we could make on the ship, as literally everyone was drinking. There's nothing like being on a ship in a hot climate with a lot of people who are constantly drinking, so it was well worth the money. And each drink was in the range of about $11 to $15 US, and if you were in a port, regardless if you had the package or not, you still had to pay an additional port fee on each drink that you purchased. There were a lot of bars around the ship, and most of the bars were really quite fast, efficient, and friendly with the passengers. And even with such a fast turnaround of passengers, it felt like the bar staff knew all of our drinks, and they made really good connections with the passengers. Our stateroom was on the 8th floor and right down the hallway were our friends, and overall we were in a decent location in terms of getting to some of the main spots on the ship quickly. But on the other hand, there were a lot of people just hanging out in the hallways pretty much all of the time. The room itself was pretty quiet, but when the neighbors came out of their rooms, it was a different story, as the voices would come through the vent of the door, and it would force you to get up or out of your room or turn up your TV, depending on what time of day it was. Our room was overall pretty nice. It had a comfy bed and lots of storage, and almost too much space for such a short itinerary. Had lots of mirrors, a decent-sized bathroom, a couch, a small balcony. There was a lot of food choice on the ship, and there were venues all around the ship that always had at least one vegan item to choose from. There was also a dedicated whole food plant-based menu in the dining rooms for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we were very surprised and happy that there were so many good choices. Overall, we were impressed with the food, the selection, and the quality. So, what did we do while we were on the Carnival Radiance ship? Well, there was almost always some form of entertainment or activity to do all of the time on the ship. There were arts and crafts activities, trivia, shows, things for sale, dancing, so much more. And the gym and the spa were very nice, and we were even treated to sample massages with bamboo. And the staff were all so nice, and the gym was updated, it was clean and welcoming. The shows were very good. We had a lot of fun watching them. And the seating in the theater was also great because everybody had a seat that pretty much had a great view. And so I would say there was almost no bad seats. The entertainers were very good. They also had guest comedians who were also very funny. And my advice, if you ever go on the ship, is that you should go to the shows a little bit early to make sure that you get a seat, as these venues all kind of packed up very quickly. There was also a disco night in the main part of the ship, and everybody was handed out light sticks at no additional charge. And one thing I noticed is that Carnival doesn't nickel and dime you for all kinds of things. So we did receive a lot of free things, and we found that the staff and the activities seemed to be very inclusive overall. There was always something to do. Staff and passengers were all very happy. Everybody was having fun, good entertainment, and the best part is that we were able to book this short itinerary with our friends and really have a great time at a really good cost. So I think that it was a great choice overall for us and our friends to get together, catch up, and have a great time without getting bored. I hope you liked this video. Again, please don't hesitate to check out some of the other ships that we have reviewed. We literally sold our house in Canada and have been going from ship to ship around the world. And hopefully we've been helping you make some decisions about which ship you would like to travel on next. Thank you so much for watching.